Deep within the winter forest, among the snowdrift wide, you can find a magic place where all the fairies hide. It's Paddy's Day again, and I thought we should make a cocktail using the green fairy. Yeah. I got my wings on, man. When you think of fairies, you might think of tiny beings with wings and a magic wand. Leprechauns? Little men who give you a pot of gold if you catch them. But some of these dwarf-like creatures can be truly terrifying. Take the fairy changelings, or shapeshifters that steal babies in the night. These fairies snatch away children, even adults, and replace them with one of their own, an imposter. At first, you can't tell the difference between a human child and a changeling. They physically look the same. But as time goes by and the changeling child grows, for whatever reason, they often develop physical illnesses and eventually die. Now, a changeling isn't really a creature in its own right, but more of an instrument or creation of the fairies. It's unsure as to why fairies would steal these children and replace them with changelings, but some believe that the fairies want their children to simply have a proper human upbringing. I guess maybe it's better than what they're accustomed to living in the forest. While others say that fairy children need the milk from humans, mother's milk, to survive. In some stories, changelings aren't fairy children at all, but rather an enchanted piece of wood made to appear and move like a human. Hey Martha, did you change Woody today? There are some good fairies that swap out the babies for a very brief time and allow the human babies to suckle the breasts of fairies and are then returned to their parents unharmed. In some tales, the changeling is an old fairy that lives out its last days to die in peace with loving parents. Then there are the evil fairies with sinister intent. They replace the children with changelings for their own amusement and perhaps even enslaving them to do their bidding. During the Middle Ages, Christians often believed that if a child was baptized, they could not be harmed by fairies. And if you really wanted to prevent a child from being replaced by a changeling, you take a set of patina green iron shears and you place them above the crib or bed where the child sleeps. Because everyone knows fairies are allergic to iron. And now you know. Wonder what happens. What kind of allergic reaction did they get? Another sign that a child has been replaced by a changeling is that all of a sudden the child has a very large, voracious appetite. The child will eat and eat and eat and then ask for more. Please, sir, I want some more. In some stories, the changeling has lived so long with a human family that it forgets its origin and actually believes it's human, up until one day when it's older and sometimes remembers everything. Then they just vanish into the forest. You know, the fear of these changelings over the years have run so deep that it led to the murder of thousands of children that were thought to be changelings. Back in 1895, Michael Clary thought his wife Bridget was really a changeling and burned her to death. He honestly believed that his wife had been abducted by fairies with a changeling left in her place. Well, of course, Michael was found guilty and spent 15 years in prison. There's even an old Irish nursery rhyme that reads, "Are you a witch or are you a fairy? Or are you the wife of Michael Clary?" Changelings are what nightmares are made of. It was Charles Vexenet who created this original beast for the Pernod Company. So I've got my Collins glass here filled with ice, and typically you would use Pernod Absinthe, but I can't get it here where I live in Canada. That stuff is 68% alcohol by volume, and it's a spirit. I have the next best thing. Pernod, it's a liqueur though. It's 40% alcohol by volume. So I'm thinking we take some Pernod and we take some real absinthe. This is 70% alcohol by volume. Let's do it. Electric yellow with lime tinges, The nose of Pernod suggests aromas of fennel seeds, garden herbs, and soft black licorice. Unlike Pernod Absinthe at 68%, this Pernod contains sugar, and it technically falls under the umbrella of a liqueur as opposed to a spirit. The finish is long and potent. Pernod, 1 ounce. And maybe a ½ an ounce of Hills. Oh yeah, look at that color. Next is lime juice, okay? And we want 1 ounce of lime juice. Let's press this. I think I'm pretty much there with 1 ounce of lime juice, fresh lime juice. Yeah, it's a feel thing. Look at the color. All right. Next thing is 1 ounce of simple syrup. Yeah, sweet. And top it up with 4 ounces of fresh water. Oh yeah, sweet. And now for some fresh cucumber. Yeah, okay. Let's cut this thing up. How cool is that? And what we want is about 4 slices. And we put them right in our drink here and pop in a straw and give it a try. The green beast. Ooh, beastie. Wow. Oh, that's really, really refreshing. Charles, you nailed this one, man. I'm smelling the cucumber. It just like brightens it up. And if you like licorice, you gotta like licorice. This is really, really refreshing. That's gonna turn me into a beast? I don't know. You know, the recipe can be multiplied to fill a large punch bowl too, for all your friends to turn into green beasts. So, if you're looking for something really nice and green for Paddy's Day, make the green beast. Yeah! It is so refreshing. Yeah, I'm really liking it. Licorice! And now for some fresh cucumber.
Don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. Go for it. No, don't mess up your face, don't mess up your face.
I'm on Patreon now. Yeah, for just a few dollars a month, you get access to things that nobody else sees. You get bloopers, you get podcasts, newsletters, and sneak peeks. You get a whole whack of stuff that you're gonna love. So become one of my booze hounds and help support the show. This stuff gets expensive, and every little bit goes back into the show. Thanks in advance. I'm such a beast. I got my wings, I got my wand, I got my drink. Who could ask for anything more? Hit the subscribe button, check some other videos out, and oh, that's so good. Happy Paddy's Day. Nah, cheers. Oh, here we go. I'm flying out of here.